Hi everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday class. I've got Kat with me on the chat
Yeah.
today from our home. Just admiring her bamboo screen there. Very nice, very tasteful.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Kat. That's brilliant. Yeah, so please say hi in the chat. I wouldn't be surprised if we have slightly lower numbers today from the UK because it's actually got warm for once, and I'm sure everyone's probably out in the garden if they can do that. But anyway, we're going to be here every Wednesday for you for the foreseeable future. We're just going through our cycle, so please say hello from, and we've got people from Heidelberg, Annette, Linda from Upshall, Susan, lots of familiar names flying past. Fingers checked in again from Istanbul. Hi everyone. Yeah, we've got a really big international group, and I suppose we can rely that somewhere in the world the weather's not going to be very nice and you're going to want to join the class on a Wednesday morning. Anyway, I'm kind of excited this week because we've got a massively important point for point of the week. Looking forward to sharing that with you later on. Just want to say thank you to Kat the other day for doing the Wednesday class. I know it was a bit stressful because they upgraded the software just on that day and it wasn't quite working right. They had a few bugs in it, so poor old Kat and Basti had to struggle a bit. But luckily they've sorted all of the issues out now, and it's actually like really cool. I'll show you a few of the lovely new features. I'm just going to show the slides. And yep, it's transform your health the Shiatsu way. So we're going to actually do a special point today, which I'll introduce you to later. But let's start by doing what we do every week, which is just tuning in to how we're feeling. We're going to do a whole body scan. We're going to check the heaters, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about where in the body you want to work. Okay, we've seen a massive swing towards the upper heater in the last couple of weeks, which I think is a kind of emotional release really as lockdown starts to open up in some of the countries that we're working with. Okay, so let's do the whole body scan. I'm going to just feature myself. I'm doing completely natural light. Can you believe it? This is natural sunlight coming in through my window today. I didn't even need the panel lights. So that's just a sign to show that how warm and sunny it actually is here. Okay, so let's spend a minute just tuning in, seeing how we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to tune in to our whole body. We just stand, relax. We're not going to do very much to start with because we want to kind of check in to see how we actually are. We're going to scan down from the top of our head. Let's do it together. So through the top of our head, down, through the jaw, through the throat, around the shoulders, down our arms, through the chest, through the abdomen, through the hips, and down through the knees and the feet. Okay, got that? And what I'd like us to do this week is we're going to check in and just see whether we feel our energy is generally going up or generally going down before we do any of the exercises. So let's just tune in. We're just going to go see what's happening. Do you feel more or less balanced between heaven and earth, between the ground and the sky? Or do you feel like you're kind of ungrounded, you're floating up? Or do you feel you're sinking down? I would like you to add that to your whole body scan drawing. Okay, so let's just check in again. Ask ourselves, what is our energy like? And imagine if you had to draw it. I'm going to draw mine to see what's happening. And I'm going to just put an arrow here to indicate whether our energy is going generally up or generally down. We can do some exercises for that. And I'm going to run a poll in a minute for that. Okay, so have you got the whole body scan, your general overall scan, which gives you an idea of where you would like to focus in on today, and that's pretty much my body scan for today. And now we're going to go for the 3 heater tune in. Remember that? So we're going to have the 3 heaters. And just to remind you, I'm just going to flick through the slides so we can have a quick look. We're going to find out how we are with body scans. We're going to tune in and do some polls, and then we'll do the exercises. Point of the week will feature later on. And of course, we'll check in at the end and find out how we are now. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the nervous system in the past, and we're going to revisit that in the next couple of weeks as we come out of the fire element. Okay, so we're going to not skip that today. We're going to do the 3 heater exercise, which is tuning into the 3 heaters. Okay, and I'm going to do that with you. So what we're going to do is tune into the lower heater, which is here, the middle heater and the upper heater. We're going to do it all as one exercise, and then we're going to come back and use our memory to tune into, to contrast the 3 areas. Okay, you with me? So let's first of all relax, tune into that lower heater, which is around here, below the navel, down to the pubic, down below the pubic bone onto the pelvic floor, right through into the sacrum, this whole lower area here. We're going to tune in there. I'm going to close my eyes for a second, go internally and just see what that's like. Okay, and imagine if you were going to draw that, and then we're going to go up into the middle heater, which is this area here, below the diaphragm and above the navel, and it goes through actually into the lower thoracic. Okay, those of you who are Shiatsu practitioners will know that the lower thoracic U points relate to the liver and gallbladder and the stomach and spleen. So this lower part of the thoracic is actually related to the middle burner. Just a bit of a reminder there on your U points. And then the upper burner, which is the lungs and the heart, this area here. So I'm going to close my eyes and tune into the upper burner. Okay, so let's just relax and compare the lower, the middle, and the upper burner. Ooh, it's a bit of a close one for me this week, but we're going to draw it and we're going to have to decide on which of those 3 burners we most want to work on. So I'm just going to draw mine. Okay, you want to maybe write some words. I'm going to write a few words on next to mine. Okay, so at the end of this exercise, you have a whole body scan and your 3 heater scan. So let's have a quick look at the poles. I'm going to ask you that pole whether your energy is 2 up, 2 down, or about right, because we can definitely work on that with some of the points and the grounding exercise. So let's find out whether your energy is up, down, or about right. I'm going to share that now. Let's see. Wow, now this is super interesting, and this is going to be interesting when we match it to the burners as well. Let's have a look. Okay. Interestingly enough, those of you who are a bit down and feeling heavy and too grounded were a bit slower to vote. You came in later, which is just indicates your energy state, I would just say. Look at this. This is very interesting. We've got really the majority feel too heavy and too grounded, but we've got some people who feel very too much. So let's bear that in mind when we work through the exercise today. But definitely we need a kind of generally a little bit of rebalancing towards the upward direction. Now, checking in with your burners, let's just see whether that tendency for that upper burner to become dominant has continued, or whether it's balanced out with maybe some of the middle and lower burners. Let's find out. And here it comes. Which burner do you want to work on most today? Whoa, look at that. The upper burner was definitely a one-off the last couple of weeks. It's gone back now, and we're back to the middle burner being the dominant burner, although the lower burner is very closely related to that. Okay, so I'm just going to make some notes here. We're going to go for middle burner, and we're going to go for feeling down generally. Okay, cool. Right, when we use the points, we can activate them in different ways. I can share that with you. So you can tweak the visualizations and the points to your own benefit, bearing in mind those burners and those directions that you want to work on. Okay, cool. So let's just move straight into the exercises. I think that'll do it. I've got my point of the week ready for later on. Looking forward to that. Okay, so let's start off. Oh, it's really is starting to get quite warm in here today already. So we'll take it nice and easy. Let's go. Okay, now if you're feeling a little bit down, or even if you're feeling up, okay, especially if you've got middle burner at things, that can often indicate there's some stagnation that needs to be moved in your body. Now, if you think of your whole body scan, most of what was happening to me was going on around here. So I'm going to, when I work on it, I'm going to try and release this area here. And because my energy was mainly up, I'm going to try and shake my energy down. Now, if you're too heavy, what you want to do is keep that open feeling up towards the heavens from the head top. So when we're doing alignment, just gently emphasize this movement here, and that will start to lift your chi and it'll balance that feeling of heaviness out. If you're feeling way too up here, like I am at the moment, then what we want to do is emphasize the sacrum and emphasize the feeling of connection with the earth. Okay, so you can tweak these exercises so that by the end of the hour, hopefully we're going to feel nicely balanced, nicely free and connected up through our whole body. So let's do it. Okay, and the first thing we want to do is we're going to do a little bit of gentle shaking. We're going to work through the body. Okay, and I'm going to start off with the jaw. That's the first joint that we come to as we scan down through the body. So let's just open the jaw and let the jaw shake down. We're going to relax the throat. Okay, and we're going to open up the shoulders. Okay, now if you need connecting more with the heavens, need to feel lighter, this is your moment here to open up the neck and get that feeling of connection with the heavens. Really feel the rest of your body just hanging down, floating up. And if you're floating up too much and you want to ground, then you can shake yourself down like this towards your feet. Okay, so let's just monitor that up and down thing as we go and tweak or adjust the exercises as we go. So I'm going down into my shoulders. This is one of my main areas I want to work on, so I'm going to really open this up. I'm going to open up the shoulder joints. Keeping that jaw relaxed. And now I'm going to go down into the chest area and keep that diaphragm relaxed. Shaking it. I'm shaking it kind of forwards and backwards as well. Okay, really enjoy that shaking. We're going down to the elbows and down to the hands and fingers. Getting that egg under the armpit. Remember from part one, back at the beginning of the whole fire element, you're going to get that egg under the armpit and really shake the shoulder joints out. And then we're going to go down, work down into the middle burner, just giving that a bit of a shake. Down into the lower burner. Okay, now we're going to go into the hips. It's a really important area to release. So I'm going to just sink down a little bit more here, and I'm shaking right into the joint. Shaking out through the knees and into the feet. And then we're just going to get the whole body to shake. And now we're going to really concentrate on balancing heaven and earth again. So if you're still feeling a bit heavy, we're going to shake yourselves up towards the heavens. And if you're floating up, we're going to shake ourselves down into the earth. Okay, so let's just see if we can get that shaking to balance out our heaven and earth connection, keeping the spine as open as possible. And seeing if we can feel all the vertebrae of the spine just shaking and moving slightly as we do the exercise. Okay, now the spine is often thought of as a compressional structure, a bit like a lighthouse with bricks piled on top of it. That's what we kind of get in our heads from the anatomy classes we do. But actually, the whole spine floats in the soft tissue. So a good image for the spine is all these vertebrae just floating all the way up. And as we bring our imagination into the head top and the sacrum, what we're doing is giving space for each of the vertebrae to float. If you feel any constriction or any blockages there anywhere in your spine, then we can just imagine them loosening and floating up. And by using our imagination, we can get the whole spine just to start adjusting itself and releasing. Surprising how much of it we can do just ourselves. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to have to do something a bit dramatic. I'm going to have to take this polo top off because it's so warm in here. I don't know what it's like for you, but hopefully it'll make it even easier for you to see me, because I've just noticed there's so much light coming into this room now. I might have to pull the blind in a minute because it's so white in here. The lovely early summer sun's really bringing the light directly in. Oh, that's better. Okay, so here we go. Hope you're at the right temperature wherever you are. And we'll start off by doing some more Qi Gong style exercises. Now this is a foundation exercise. We do it every single week for a very good reason, because we need to establish the lower burner. So let's place our hand on just below the navel, around CV4 and CV6 points, which are the gates of origin of the energy system. We're going to place our hands there. And let's just check in and see where our breathing goes, okay? So let's just take a deep breath in. And then breathe out. Okay, now did you feel your hands move? If you felt your hands move like this, it means you're relaxing your diaphragm, and it means your breath is going deeply down towards the lower dantian. What can happen, especially if we're feeling a bit giddy like this, is we can breathe in like this. And we can get that kind of feeling of being like hyperventilating and going up like that. So first thing we want to do is bring that breath down into the lower dantian. It's worth taking a few moments to just do that. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, keep that egg under our armpit. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to energize the lower burner by circling CV4 and CV6. These are the foundations of yin and yang in the body. So if you've got too much yang, and you're going like this, and you've got too much yin, you're going like this, this should balance that upward and downward action, just because we're working CV4 and CV6. So maybe we should do them as points of the week sometime in the future, because they're really, really important points. Just below the navel, both of them are very close together. CV6 is just above CV4. Now, we can energize those points and connect them to heaven and earth. So let's just try that. First of all, let's connect down into kidney 1 from the dantian. So we're going to connect down into kidney 1, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Relaxing our hips. Kidney 1 is on the sole of the foot, right in the middle of the sole of the foot. Okay, so we're focusing our energy down there. Opening up our knees. Opening up kidney 1. Okay, now that feeling you can feel now is the yin connection with the earth. Okay, so now let's explore the connection with the yang energy. So what we're going to do now is focus deeply into the spine. If you can bring your arms behind your back, you can energize bladder 23, just right here, in the middle of the back, or we can continue to do this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to connect an energy connection through here into the lower gate of life. This is the lower gate of life here. And we're going to go up through the spine to the top of the head and up towards the heavens. You want to try that? So relaxing, opening that egg up under the armpit. Feel the sacrum hanging down. Extend the spine upwards. And that's your yang energy connection from the gate or origin of life points, CV4 and CV6. So now let's just spend a little moment, let's spend about a minute or two balancing out whichever you think you need. So if you feel like you're still too heavy, then you want to energize through here and energize the yang energy. If you feel you're still too much like this, we're going to energize the yin energy there. And if you feel in the middle, just send it both ways and enjoy the balance. Okay, I'm just going to shut up for a minute while we do that. Keep that breathing down in the lower dantian. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now let's work on kidney 1. I'm going to get my chair here. Take my socks off, and we're going to work kidney 1. That's right in here, opening up the foot. And this is always a great point of these classes to notice how we feel once we've worked kidney 1, because basically it helps us connect down into the earth and increases our yin, but that yin energy coming up from the earth helps support the whole spine. Also takes energy away from the head. So if you're a bit like me and you've got too much energy rushing up into your head, then this is the point for you. Okay, so we're just going to tap it. Okay, very good. Opening up the foot, stretching out. Okay, great. And the same on the other foot, so fingertips right into kidney 1, stretching my leg out. Giving it a really good tapping. Tapping the feet on the floor, stretching them out. Okay, brilliant. Stand up and see what it's like. Ah, that's nice. Oh, isn't that nice and relaxing? It almost feels it's kind of like cooling in a way. It just connects us down to the yin. It's a very, very strong yin supporting point. So let's just emphasize that by just tapping up from kidney 1 into the lower dantian, and then we'll get onto the middle bone. Okay, so we're going to tap behind the ankles very lightly. I'm just coming up back inside the legs. This is kidney 3 up to kidney 10. And come up, just on the top of the pubic bone. We're going to go round. We're going to tap here or rub here, and then down the backs of the legs. Down to the little toe, and we're going to come up. Okay, so 3 passes on the kidney and bladder channels just to connect with the lower bone. I'm just going to give my lower back a bit of an extra go here. Bladder 23. Rubbing here down the sacroiliac joint, there, and then down to bladder 60. Kunlun Mountain, remember that from the water element? Okay, and shaking up the legs. Okay, and standing again, checking in. Okay, Now, if you're anything like me and you're a little bit too far up with your energy, you'll probably notice that you feel a lot more connected to the earth. If you're feeling too heavy, feel that yin energy coming up and supporting the body up from the feet upwards. Okay, now it's time for the middle burner. Thank you everyone who voted for the middle burner. That's my burner this week. It feels a little bit hot here and a little bit obstructed. So let's make sure we do something about that before we move on to the upper burner and point of the week. Okay, so my favourite exercise, I hope it is one of your favourite too, is twisting. This is a great exercise for the liver and gallbladder. It's also very good for releasing the diaphragm and the whole middle burner. But it's really a question of focusing it. So let's try and get that balance between heaven and earth. We're going to float the head up. We're going to get all those vertebrae floating in the soft tissue. The sacrum is hanging down. We're going to create as much freedom as we can in the spine, and that spine then becomes the axis that we start to work on the middle burner. So what I'm going to do is I'm focusing here. I'm focusing this way with the spine. Let's keep that kidney one open. We need that kidney yin to provide yin to the liver. That's really important because that helps lubricate and cool the liver energy, which can get a bit hot and kind of get stuck. So keeping kidney one open kind of connects the yin up into the middle burner. Let's just try keeping that focused. Freeing up the middle burner. Very good. Okay, very nice. Well done. Okay, we come back to the front. Nice and smooth. And let's do some doing to keep that middle burner as free as possible. Now, if you remember, the stomach spleen channels run down the front of the body, and the liver and gallbladder run on the inside and outside of the legs. So we need to start off with working the stomach and the spleen channels. And we've got some very important points around the navel here. We've got a stomach point and stomach 25, and we've got spleen 15, and they're kind of just right by the navel here. They're right opposite the navel, just outside, just on the outside of the abdominal wall and just halfway in. These points will come to them when we do the earth element, because they're super important points for the digestion. But if we just start there and we can just tap like this gently, with my fingertips right on the navel there, my middle finger is actually right along the point, right along, joining up stomach 25 and spleen 15. Really nice point for, really nice technique here for just harmonizing the digestion. And what I'm doing is I'm very gently tapping here, and then putting my hands like this and working around the navel. This is a spleen tonifying exercise, Qi Gong exercise, keeping the armpits open and just allowing the Qi to build in the middle of the abdomen. Very good. Okay, then we're going to go back here again, and we're going to tap, and we're going to go down and connect with the stomach and spleen. Okay, and so let's just keep tuning into this middle burner, especially if it's your burner of choice. Just notice if there's anywhere that feels particularly effective as we go down. Got some mega important points that we're going to do very soon when we get onto the earth element later on in the summer. I'll give you a bit of a preview. There's one just below the knee here on the outside of the shin. That's a really important point that's used for regulating the digestion. So I'm going to just tap that a few times. So go down onto the feet and up the inside of the legs. This is the spleen channel. And that brings me back up to opposite the navel, spleen 15. And then I can go back to the stomach, 25. And down the stomach channel. Okay, then we go out here again. So we go spleen, stomach, and now one more pass, and then we go back up again. Okay, excellent. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the stomach and spleen. Now, middle burner people, just check in your middle burner and see if there's any change. If there's not much change, you could be a liver and gallbladder person. So let's do that next. We've done the twisting. So now what we want to do is we want to work the sides of the body. Now remember this movement here between liver 13 and 14. Gate of hope. And then from there we can go down onto gallbladder 30, that's this point right here. I don't know if you remember that one from the spring, which is the one that opens up the hips. It goes down, outside of the legs, and up the inside. Yep, so we go down the outside, the gallbladder channel again, tuning into our middle burner, just seeing if there's anything, any part of the middle burner that is helped by any of these points. Up. A little bit more of the gate of hope. Always do with a bit more gate of hope. And then down the gallbladder channel. And then up the liver channel. Yay, okay, we've done it. So that's all the channels of the legs. Excellent. So we're just going to brush off. Okay, middle burner people, check in. And if you're anything like me, I felt much more change with that, which I guess means it's going to be my liver and gallbladder that I need to work on. Okay, excellent. So we've energized the lower burner. We've introduced some new points here to working the middle burner. And so now it's time to go onto the upper burner where we'll be doing point of the week. But before we do that, let's just check in, align our spine, open up that egg under the armpit, and just see if we feel a lot more balance up and down. And I think you can agree that we definitely are getting there. Certainly I feel a lot less like I'm floating up, and I'm thanking Kidney 1 for that. That's one of my favourite points. Okay, what a great feeling to be connected to the earth. Okay, so last but not least, we go on to the upper burner. We need to calm and energize the upper burner because we need air into the lungs. But we also need to keep the heart as calm as we can because it's very good for the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, to regulate the heartbeat through the vagal nerve. It sends a message to our brain that everything is safe. So that's a really good thing to do. So let's start off with the lungs. And what we do is we'll do a little stretch for the lungs, feel what that's like, do some dough-in, and then check in again. Okay? So the stretch for the lungs is to come up like this, bring our thumbs upwards and outwards, breathing in, breathing out, going up into the thumb, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, now get a sense of what it feels like through here into the chest. There's some connective tissue, facial connections that go right into the throat and into the lungs from this particular channel. So let's do some tapping. Okay, we need to start off with lung 1, that's right around here. You just feel your clavicle go into the shoulder and kind of go down. Just a little way down, you'll find like an indentation here, and this is where lung 1 is. So we go here, lung 1 and 2, and then down the lung channel, just to here on the outside of that tendon there. And these are points that we're going to be exploring in more detail when we get into the autumn, because these are metal element or lung and large intestine points. Then we go from the first finger all the way up onto the shoulder and then round again. Okay, so we're here. Go around 3 times again. Okay, so it's lung 1. You can make some sounds if you like. Ooh, loosen up the lungs. Ooh. Down to the thumb. And then up. Intestine, onto the shoulder and brush off. Okay, shake it out. Okay, the other side, so it's the same thing the other side, lung 1 here. Brilliant. go down, past the elbow, down into the thumb, and then up here onto this bulgy bit of the arm, and then up into the shoulder, round here. This is the lung and large intestine channels, and nasal element channels. Okay, I'm brushing off. Okay, let's check in with the stretch again and see if we can feel any difference. Breathing in. Whoa, how about that? Can you feel that? So much more open and more tingly towards the thumb and the first finger. That means we've successfully opened up that channel. And that's just what we need. More air, qi coming into the lungs. Okay, excellent. So now we've got the pericardium channel. Remember that one? That's this stretch here. And its pair is the triple heater. And the triple heater is also in the fire element. And we are going to check out a point of the week along the triple heater meridian. So let's just check the pericardium channel first of all. Breathing in, breathe out. Slowly breathing out, opening up to the middle finger. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. So the pericardium channel runs along the inside of the arms and the triple heater runs on the outside, very similar to the liver and gallbladder in the legs, except it's in the arm. Okay, so let's just do some doing and then we can try out one of the points. Once you've opened the channels up, I'd like to do a little experiment with you on one of the points and see what action you can feel it actually does. Okay, so first of all, we're going to just work here from the chest area. We're going to go here, out like this, and then back along the outside of the arm, out along here, and then back. Here and back. Okay, as we're doing this, we're opening up the whole chest area, the channels in the chest. Excellent. Okay, you want to try the other side? Okay, we're working here, down the inside of the arm, and back up the outside of the arm. Okay, very good. We're going to just brush off there. Shaking out. Okay, so now it's time for point of the week. Now I'm just going to put the slides for you, and it's a bit of a mystery at this point. I'll just show you something about it. Okay, point of the week coming up. Okay, so here we are. It's to do the 3 burners. If you can remember back in the day, about 1.5 years ago, when we started these exercises, we just introduced you to the idea of the 3 burners creating the defensive ki, or the Wei Qi, or the immunity. I actually did this graphic before the coronavirus pandemic, by the way. Unfortunately, it turned out to be rather prescient, which was unfortunate, but I actually did this graphic a couple of years ago. And the point we're going to look at is triple heater 5. Now I'm going to remind you of pericardium 6, because this pericardium 6 is kind of like a paired point. It's 3 fingers from the wrist crease up the inside of the arm. And triple heater 5 is its friend on the outside on the triple heater channel. Now the triple heater channel does many things. It's mainly used to treat the head actually and neck because of the direction of the channel. It connects through into pericardium 6. It's in exactly the same location. It's just on the outside of the arm. And it can be used to regulate the 3 heaters and to help the Wei Qi production. So I thought we'd do an experiment. I always love these experiments. Why don't we do an experiment and see where the point resonates in us, in our group, okay? So I'll just stop sharing the slides for a second. I'll show you where the point is. Okay, so it's easy to find. You know how to find pericardium 6, right? It's like this. 3 fingers from the wrist crease up. So if you turn your hand around and do the same thing on the outside of the arm, you have it right there. Okay, we're just going to feel around for a slightly tender spot. Okay, so now let's do an energy exercise. Let's see whereabouts you can feel the this point resonating. The chances are quite good that you'll feel it either in one of the 3 heaters, or you'll feel the effect up the channel and into the head. So let's see what happens. We're going to relax, open up our energy field, keep our shoulders relaxed. I've got my thumb right on triple heater 5 here. Okay, 3 fingers up from the wrist crease, right in the middle of the outside of the arm. Very important to keep the arm open and relaxed, because you want the channel to communicate up through into the center of the body, the trunk of the body, as well as the head and the neck. Are you ready? Okay, so we're going to relax. We're going to take a deep breath in. Okay, we're going to breathe out. We're going to gently press into that point. Okay, and hold it. Now, what I want you to do now is just relax and tune into your whole energy field and see if you can feel where that point is acting. Is it acting in your head, your upper heater, middle heater, or your lower heater? Okay, got it? You're going to shake out. We're going to try the other side and see whether that has the same effect. We're going to use the 3 fingers again to find the point. So it's right here. Okay. Ready? Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to clear our energy field by just relaxing, opening up the arms. Keep that egg under the armpit, by the way, and relax your shoulders, because we need the channel to connect up into the core of the body and into the head. Ready? Okay, so take a deep breath in, everyone. Okay, relax and press into that point. Okay, and hold it. And now scan your body and see where the main place of connection you can feel to that point. And release. Okay, cool. Now I've got a poll ready for you, because I love doing this so much. Something I prepared earlier. I've got a poll to find out, where did you feel the triple heater resonate the most? The lower, middle, upper heater, or the head and neck? And if I can find it amongst all the polls we've got, here we go. Where did you feel the triple heater 5 resonate? Or maybe you felt it somewhere else. Let's see. Look at that. Wow, look at that. That is pretty impressive. That's pretty much straight out of a textbook, everyone. Congratulations. You are a proving ground for Chinese medicine point action, because I would say that for at least half the time, that point is mainly used to treat the head and neck, but it's also used to regulate the heaters. And it does have a particular effect on the upper heater because, as I can show you right now, this is so fascinating, it regulates the 3 heaters, and it's to do with Wei Qi production. And the upper heater is the last place that the Wei Qi is created. So that's absolutely awesome. Really, really interesting. And thank you so much for being part of this experiment. And you can see now why we love this point so much in Shiatsu. And if you've ever had a Shiatsu from me, there's a pretty good chance, if you've got any triple heater or fire element imbalances and anything happening in your head and neck, you'll probably feel me going down there and going into that point, because it's a super favorite of mine. It's a fantastically powerful point. Okay, great. Well, that was really good fun. Thank you very much for that. And now we've just got 15 minutes left. We better clear those yang channels, and we better make sure that we connect up between heaven and earth before we leave this class, because we're going to need that in the week ahead, aren't we? Okay, so remembering that we've got all the yin channels come up the body, I'm just going to remind you that all the yin channels come up like this. They all finish or start or finish on the chest area, and all the yang channels, basically you can see them here on me, and they all come up and they either start or finish on the head. And that's why the neck and the head are such a common place: headaches, neck stiffness, jaw stiffness, stuff like that. So every week we make sure we clear those channels, and this week is no exception. We definitely need to do that. Those of you who, by the way, are not connecting with heaven, you're feeling really heavy, we've got celestial pillar here, bladder 10, an ideal point to open up the base of the cranium and get that head floating up towards the heavens. Okay, so it's essential points for that alignment. So let's start. Okay, let's do some tapping. We're going to tap the forehead, keeping the wrists really relaxed. And we're going to go over the top of the head, down to the back of the neck, just tapping it. Okay, very good. Eyes, very important, especially as we spend so much time in front of the computer these days. So let's just press around our eyes and just remind you of some very important points. Going to gently press here. This is bladder 1. Pressing in, and we can focus in towards the eyes. We can also visualize the bladder channel going over the top of the head and into the back of the neck, floating the head up. That's it. And then we can gently press along the eyes here until we get to the outside orbit of the eye. And this is where the gallbladder and the triple heated channels both kind of meet, because they both begin or end around this area here, literally just right here. And that's why the triple heated channel is often used for eye problems. This, in fact, triple heated 5 is often used for eye problems and eye strain and headaches on the side of the head. So there you go. If you get like an eye straining kind of thing when you're doing too much computer work, take a break, press triple heated 5 and see if you can feel that connection up right up into the head. Okay, now there's different ways of doing this. A popular way to do it is to rotate just around the temples like this. This is again a natural thing that you see people doing, natural kind of self-shiatsu technique. You can also tap along the channels. Basically, we're following the side of the head down into the side of the neck. Very good. Okay, excellent. So that's the back and the side. So now we need the front. Very important, the front of the head. And we can do that through large intestine 20. Welcome smell. We're going to be doing that in the autumn. Definitely, that's a really important point. It's just either side of the nose here. We're going to press around. We're going to press the upper sinuses. Pressing all around here. Very important points around the jaw. And I'm pressing around the jaw here. Another really good thing to do is to press around the gums. If you can feel the joint between your teeth and the gums, that's because the stomach and the large intestine meridian run right along there through the teeth. The large intestine meridian governs the upper teeth. That's why there are points here for toothache in the upper jaw. And the stomach channel is connected to the stomach channel is connected to the lower jaw, and that's why we use points on the stomach meridian on the feet to treat toothache and problems with the lower jaw. Okay, so there we are, the stomach and the large intestine channels. Okay, very good. I'm just going to pull my ears around a little bit, just pulling the ears down. Just generally wiping the face, getting any tension out of the face. Oh, wow. Absolutely great. Whew, doesn't that feel better? Okay, so now we need to work on the neck. Why don't we do the front first? So we've got the stomach channel running down through here, and it goes right on the front of the FCM muscle here. So we're going to squeeze that. Again, it runs near the large intestine channel. And the stomach and large intestine channel, if you haven't already noticed, are on the outside front of the body. So they're kind of paired together. I'm just going to press around here. I'm just squeezing the SCM muscle. And then In a moment, I'm going to turn around and you can check out how I'm doing with my COVID haircut, because I'm actually doing it all myself at the moment and I have no idea really what it looks like at the back. Only you know, because you see it every single week, and you can probably give me a bit of feedback of how I'm doing, how level it is around here. Just, you know, you can maybe just help me out with that. I'm trying to get it to be level all the way around, but it's really difficult to do. I'm experimenting with putting my finger here and using the razor like that. So hopefully it's not too kind of crazy around the back there, but it's very good for showing where the bladder channel is. It runs down here and into celestial pillar. That's this point here. So let's just make a real good point of just a really good job of opening that up. I'm floating my head up, pressing my fingertips into the bladder channel, and you can tap it as well if you want to, just around here. Tap it. Okay, and then squeezing gallbladder 20. Really good point again for the eyes. Really squeeze around the whole sides of the neck. So we've got the front and the back and the sides. We're working downwards because we want to try and get the energy down away from the head, down towards the feet. Oh, okay, it feels so good. Right, okay, how about a bit of tapping on the shoulders before we wash the energy down and out through the hands and feet. This is what I like to do. Maybe you can do it too. I don't know. You can tapping on the shoulders. I really like to hold this elbow here and keep this really floppy and just tap as high up as we can around the top here, because around the top of the thoracic vertebrae, around T1, which is right at the top here, I'll show you just around here, is a really good place to release it. So I'm going to put my hand right here and kind of tap around the shoulders and tap it here. Okay, and then we just brush off down the arms, shake out. So I'm just going to stand up for this. So I'm going to just lean down and shake up. Okay, shaking down. And now we want to get that energy down the back. And this is the moment in the week where we see how flexible our hands are. Can we reach there? I don't know if you can just about do it. So we need to tap down here. If you're lucky to be able to pair up, if you've got someone in your bubble who you can pair up with, you can do this type of technique down the back. Feels great on each other. But if you're like me and you're on your own, let's just go down as far as we can this way. See if we can meet as far as we can down there, and then see if we can meet it this way. Usually what I like to do is lean forward, tap up as high as I can, and then work down. And here I'm just working right down the whole yang channels of the legs. So I'm covering the bladder, the gallbladder, and the stomach channels. Just go up a few more times. Okay, very good. And shaking out. Just going to jump up and down a few times, shake everything out. Okay, very good. And we've got a little bit of time left just to do some breathing. And this is our last chance really to get our heaven and earth connection sorted out for the week. Okay, so let's see how we do. We're going to keep those feet shoulder width apart. We're going to open up our kidney 1. We're going to float this head up. And let's get those vertebrae just floating with the sacrum hanging down like a pendulum. Get that egg under our armpits, and you notice that tends to relax and open the shoulder joint. Relaxing our jaw. Okay, now check in. Now hopefully, if there's anything like me, you'll feel a lot more solidly connected to heaven and earth and not going up or down. But if you need a bit more of an adjustment, this is how we can do it at the end by just a simple breathing exercise. Breathing in, connecting with the earth. Breathing out, connecting with the heavens. So let's just emphasize whichever one we need. And if you're feeling pretty chilled and pretty balanced in the middle, then we just keep it even in and out, okay? So breathing in, connecting with the earth, opening up that kidney one, feeling heavy in the body. Breathing out, floating up, feeling light in the body. Whoa, breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, breathing in. And breathing out. Very good, very nice. So let's just stand and really enjoy that feeling balance there, scanning through our body. And this is the chance we have now to scan through, do our whole body scan again, and then check in and see how much has changed from just 1 hour ago before we start these exercises. So let's just stand and we're going to scan through from above our heads, down through our body. And we're checking in just to see how we're feeling. Very good. And then just check into the burners, the lower burner, middle burner, and upper burner. Okay, if you can remember what your picture looked like an hour ago, hopefully they're going to be a lot more even than they were just an hour ago. And now let's zoom out again and just tune into our whole field, our whole energy field. Keep that egg under the armpit. Keep that kidney one connected. Okay, and that's our challenge for the week now, is to see if we can keep as chilled and as balanced as we are now until we see you next Wednesday. Okay, I've got a bit of an announcement as well. Next Wednesday, Shakura has kindly offered to take the class, so that's going to give me a bit of a break next week. And except I'll probably tune in and join you in the group. But yeah, Shakura's going to take it. We're going to share it out a little bit because it's so much fun. Everyone wants to go with doing the Wednesday class. I'm going to quickly turn the chat. Oh yes, maybe looking for the final poll. Let's just see how you feel now. If anyone had a reaction, that does happen, especially if you're like me and you've got middle burner imbalances. Sometimes you can feel like a discharge, and we've got a few of those today. I encourage you just to take it easy, just relax, and maybe just gently repeat the exercises through the week. As that stagnation moves, then you'll find that you feel better at the end of the session as obstructions move. Okay, and if you feel about the same, I would encourage you to again repeat the exercises and just do them every day. Use the recording, and we'll catch you next week. Right, excellent. Let's see if Kat's about. Here she is. I'm just going to check.
Hello.
Hey, Kat, thanks so much for looking after the chat.
Oh, welcome. I love those points round the wrist. Really nice.
Good, yeah. I was experimenting myself, when I was preparing for this workshop, I was pressing them on myself thinking, now where is it affecting me?
And it's so nice because they're quite discreet. If you're out and about waiting in a queue for something, you can just politely hold them. No one's going to think, what are you doing, poking your face.
Oh yeah, okay, great. Well, that's it. I'm going to put a heart in the chat just because I'm having so much fun, and I really am, and put a thumbs up as well. Yeah, it's really great to see everyone come. So many familiar faces, familiar. Some of you've got faces, and just familiar names. Simonetta, hi there. Sabina, and so many people. Annette, yes, fantastic. Sally, Jacqueline, fantastic.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. Great. Okay. Well, time's up.
Yes.
That's our hour. And yeah, it'd be great. It'd be lovely to see Shakura doing the class next week. It'd be nice. Nice to see a fresh face.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
Right. I'm just going to find my way out of here. That's it. Yeah. Here we are in the session.